And may we say a good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the Township of Douro-Dummer's council meeting here on the 20th of April, 2021. We welcome everyone. We remind you that we are being presented live on YouTube and the meeting is being recorded. We will do our best to hold the meeting as close as we can to the procedures we use in the council chambers, and we'll all try to make the best out of the COVID-19 situation that we're in. I'd like to call the roll, and if you would indicate you are present for the record. Deputy Mayor Moher.
Present.
Councillor Watt.
Here.
Councillor Landsman.
Present.
And Councillor Watson.
Hello.
Good, thank you very much. Also joining us on our meeting on the screen, CAO Alana Arthurs. Alana, please note, I no longer call you our new CAO. And if I call you our old CAO, you'll probably won't like that either. So I'll just go to CAO. Also, our Chief Building Official, Brian Fawcett, is with us somewhere in the shadows, I trust. Manager of Public Works, Jake Condon, is with us when we need him. And temporary treasurer, Paul Kramer, is also in the background. And we also have a special guest with a delegation, Laura Smith. Laura, I see you on the screen, and welcome to the meeting, and we will give you your 10-minute opportunity to speak to council. Thank you for being with us. So with all of council in attendance, I will officially call the meeting to order. We respectfully acknowledge that we're on the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe Nation, and we offer our gratitude to the First Peoples for their care for and their teachings about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings. Could everyone please join us for a moment of silent reflection? Thank you all very much. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest with any members of council, please declare that now. Okay, see no hands. The agenda that is before us, can I have a motion, please, to adopt the agenda as presented? Deputy Mayor Moher
And I have a comment.
Landsman.
I have a comment,
Carl?
Mr. Mayor.
A comment on the motion, go ahead.
I have to leave the meeting around 20 to 6 due to a personal matter.
Good,
So
thank you.
I'll be disappearing around that time.
Okay, we'll ask our clerk to document that time as we roll through. Tom?
Just a point of information we got there today. Can we also, with this agenda, adopt the extra email we got with the update on our budget and do it all at once, or do we do that later?
That's a bylaw. Alana, that bylaw has been sent to us. What's your process for approving the bylaw?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. The item was listed on the agenda. We added the attachment. I believe it was included. Maybe Martina, you can confirm. I think Nicole added it, so it is there. If you want to formally accept the additional information, we're happy to take a motion to do that.
Martina?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it was added to the public agenda and the website and circulated to council yesterday.
Okay.
So I think that's all on the up and up. Nobody's hiding anything. It's all above board. Thank you for that. The motion's on the floor. All in favor, please. Motion is approved. Minutes from March 24th and April 6th are before you. Councillor Landsman makes the motion to approve, and Councillor Watt. All in favor? That motion is approved. Okay, we are moving right along here, and we're going to have an efficient meeting, I think, tonight, and do things as easily as we can. We have a delegation request, and that is Laura Smith under item 8.1. And Laura, we would ask that you adhere to our 10-minute timeline, and we're more than happy to hear you. Thank you. Yeah, you're just muted there, Laura. There we go.
Better?
We do it all the time.
I'm not sure if you know, we have a family cottage on Stony Lake on Barnes Avenue. And there's a structure that's landlocked in between our property and the next. In 2015, it was deemed by an engineer's report unsuitable. And then last July, or June 23rd, I think an unsafe building order was issued on it. July 6th, he was to put up an unclimbable fence. July 31st, he was to obtain a permit to have it demolished. And by August 14th, it was to be demolished. We're wondering when this is going to be done. There's a whole bunch of liability issues. If it falls down, who's going to be liable? The township for not having it torn down, the owner, us, if it falls onto our property and kills someone. And that's,
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not using your 10 minutes, are you, Laura?
No.
That's okay. I think we got the point, and these things can be extremely frustrating. We
Yeah.
totally understand that. I'm going to, is Brian with us, our building official? If
That's you,
Brian's
Mr.
not here,
Mayor.
Alana, I'll ask you to speak to what the process is, what has been done, what is going to be done, what can we do, and what we can't do. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you to council and Ms. Smith. I did have a chance to speak with Brian earlier today in the event that he wasn't able to attend. It is going through the due process. He did indicate, yes, that he had been in touch and had put the unsafe order on, partly probably due to COVID, but there is a process that we have to follow from the municipal standpoint and go through the legal process. And it's not something, unfortunately, that we can provide details on at this time. But please rest assured, we are moving through the process to try to have this handled as soon as we can.
Okay, do you know a timeline? Like,
I'm sorry.
in a year.
unfortunately,
have you seen what it looks like, or do you guys know what it looks like? Would you like to see a picture of it? Will that help the
That's fine.
process?
If you have a picture, can we share the screen? Do you know how to do that, guys? Oh, there you go. Whoa.
Oops.
Isn't technology wonderful
Well, if it'll blow up, yeah,
when it works?
there it is.
There we go.
So that's it.
Ouch.
Can you see it?
Mhm.
And then we were up this winter. There's the foundation of it, and it's leaning. You can see that. This is the inside of it.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, and it's, I don't know. I think we've been more than patient as neighbors having to look at this, and we're constantly cleaning out our boat slip of everything that's falling off into the lake.
Yeah, I totally understand, Laura. But I guess what we're saying is the process is underway. There's all kinds of provincial rules, regulations that
Yeah.
have to be adhered to. On a side note, when I see that picture and the price of houses these days, I wonder how much it would go for. It would
Yeah.
surprise you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, any questions? Alana, is there any more you can add? I mean, I think we're doing what we're allowed to do, and it would be nice to hear a timeline for sure.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to council and Ms. Smith, unfortunately, I do not have a timeline for you. We definitely have been restricted a little bit with COVID and the opportunity to get some of these things dealt with, and other agencies and institutions that are not operating sometimes as efficiently as
trouble.
we are.
Yep.
You do have the option to look at it from a civil aspect if there's things that are coming onto your property. I know that's a cost that you would have to bear independently, but that is an option to you. Alternatively, we will try to stay on it and get it dealt with as quickly as we can. We're just we're doing what we can as a municipality, and unfortunately, it's not always in our favor.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Sheila. You're muted, Sheila.
Sorry. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Alana, excuse me, could we possibly send Brian a reminder and just see what the status of it is so that we could get back to Ms. Smith or with a little more information?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to follow up with Brian again, just to see if there's any movement, and I will definitely follow up with Ms. Smith just to let her know if there's any additional information I can provide her.
Thank you.
It will be an issue of privacy as well, so we can only give so much information, but if there's anything additional that I can provide, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Laura, I guess all we can say is we are on it. We'll get Brian to maybe even contact you again and give you an update from his perspective.
Okay.
I know it's not a button to push to make this problem go away, but staff are on it, and I hope it can be dealt with fairly soon.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank
Have
you
a good
very
evening.
much, Laura. Could I have a motion, please, to receive that delegation and presentation? Councillor Watt. And a seconder, please, from Councillor Watson. All in favor? That motion is approved. Thank you very much. Moving to other business staff reports, the service delivery review update. This is a major project that we've only just begun. And Alana, if you want to give us that update, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just thought it was timely to bring something forward. I know during the process of your recruitment, you had asked about the rollout of the service delivery review. We moved forward today with our first meeting of the HR committee, and we had some minutes that were coming to council on the service delivery review committee meetings that had been held. So I thought it was timely just to give you a bit of an update of where we're at and what we're doing from a CAO perspective. There are a lot of things happening in the municipality and a lot of other departments working on various aspects of your service delivery review. But specifically out of the CAO department and some in conjunction, obviously, with the clerk's department and Martina, we did come back at the last meeting with the procedural bylaw report for the review and established a committee. So I know staff right now is working on gathering some examples, and we will schedule a meeting shortly and hopefully have something back to council in the not too distant future. Your council training program, Martina, I know has set up some training for you that'll be happening on April the 28th. And we had some discussion today at our HR committee meeting about some additional training that I will look into for you. Again, as I just spoke to, we had our first meeting today, and I was able to give you an update on where we were at with some of those initiatives. The formalizing the HR partnership, that was specifically out of your service delivery review. So we did look to SHRP to give us some information on that HR Live software. I know there are some other options out there, and we will come back to council with some information specifically on what HR Live is going to provide. But I think the software and the possibility of the service that it will provide to us is going to be well worth the money and the investment. They have also provided us with some options for a review of our job descriptions, again, specifically out of the review. I know in conjunction with that, there was a compensation review and the pay equity. The county is currently looking at an RFP for the compensation review. So I think it's probably cost effective for us to join them for the compensation review. And I believe other municipalities are going to join in that endeavor as well. So instead of doing that independently, if we can join with them, that will be most cost effective. And the Lean Six Sigma training, I have chatted with Tammy, the consultant that did your service delivery review, and spoke to her about arranging for some staff to do at least the initial training and then move forward from there. And we'll see how much more we want to have conducted and who's going to fill those roles. So at this point, just really to receive the report and accept the minutes and from the January and the March 2021 meeting and the notes that were provided from the February 2021 meeting.
Okay, thank you, Alana. I'm delighted to see that you're on it and you got a hold of it and we're moving it forward. That would be the suggested motion. Carl, you have a comment? You're muted, Carl.
Sorry about that. As chair of the implementation committee, I'm very proud to suggest that there's a lot of things I agree with Alana. A lot of things have already been started or completed. So if council members didn't have a chance to go through the Excel spreadsheet, I think it's 32 pages, but there's a lot of media in there of various things started and what's being done about it and so on. Still much to do, but it's a very positive move forward. So I just want to thank Alana and Martina, who who leads the service review of implementation, and thank them for all the activity that's already taken place.
Good. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Martina, for the work. I know there's a lot of work you've done on it as well. And Alana, I'm delighted to see that you're capturing this with your enthusiasm. Any other questions before I ask for the motion, please? Okay, motion to receive all the documents and the report and the presentation, moved by Sheila, seconded by Councillor Watson. All in favor? That motion is approved. Moving to 9.2, we bring Jake to the screen, our Manager of Public Works, and he's going to talk about our service treatment for the coming season. Jake, maybe you can pave the way.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Township of Douro-Dummer was part of a coordinated tender along with the County of Peterborough and other local municipalities to secure our best price for surface treatment for the 2021 season. 2 tenders were received, one from Miller Paving and the other from Dufferin Construction. The table that I supplied in the report shows the cost compared to the cost or the funds budgeted for the 2021 projects. I've also included another attachment in the in with that, which shows a couple of errors with amounts for the overall project on 2 different locations. Neither of these impact the overall outcome of the results. Miller Paving was the lowest tender price received for Douro-Dummer in the amount of $240,272.50, which is within the 2021 surface treatment budget. The recommendation before you is that the Public Works report dated April 7th, 2021 regarding surface treatment tender be received and that Miller Paving be awarded the 2021 surface treatment tender for the Township's 2021 projects.
Any questions on that report? Tom? You're muted, Tom.
There we go. That should be better. Thank you very much through you, Mr. Mayor. Jake, just a quick question. I'm not sure whether you were privy to this. A year or 2 ago, there was discussion going on through different townships, maybe the county, stuff like that, about the quality of the emulsion that used, and you know, they were trying to come up with some better ideas and better solutions so that the roads would last longer. Has there been any word on that, or anything come up that you've seen, or is that just kind of falling through the cracks with the way things are these days?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, not to my knowledge, Councillor Watt, the issue is to be environmentally friendly, it's resulted in a little less quality for the emulsion product. However, we had Miller Paving did do our projects last year, and we had great results with them.
Carl, go ahead.
Yes, just a comment. I thank you, Jake, for piggybacking on the county plan, because bulk buying for some of these major items has major savings. So thanks very much.
Okay, anyone else? A motion, please, to approve that recommendation, Carl?
I'll move the recommendation.
And a seconder. Tom? Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? That motion is approved. And Jake, again, this is a twin spin. The supply and delivery of unleaded gasoline and diesel to our Public Works facility. Go ahead.
Thank you. In 2013, the township took part in a group tender through the city of Peterborough. That tender or contract has ended on May 31st of this year. There was an extension granted to the municipality along with other municipalities to transition into the new contract. A new tender was issued by the city of Peterborough in collaboration with the county and other local municipalities for the unleaded fuels and the colored fuel and clear fuel, or diesel fuel, sorry. This contract was proposed for 5 years with the option to renew for an additional 5 years. There were 6 bid submissions with Stinson and Son Limited's bid being the lowest bid received. The city of Peterborough's tender was awarded to W.O. Stinson and Son Limited. The recommendation before you is that the Public Works report dated April 9th regarding the supply and delivery of unleaded gas and diesel fuel be received, and that council approve the award to approve and award the township's portion of the city of Peterborough's tender to W.O. Stinson and Son Limited.
Okay, thank you, Jake. And for the
Thank you.
benefit of all those watching at home or the recorded version, it's important to point out that we do everything we possibly can do to save money. And Jake, in his position as our staff, work with county staff and other townships and try to get the best prices possible on everything we use. So this isn't just a willy-nilly, let's go out and buy something. There's a great deal of time and effort put in to getting the best possible prices we can on everything from Scotch tape to diesel fuel. So just so you know that, and here's an example of how we've done that. Could I have a motion, please, for that? Unless there are any questions. Sheila, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, I would make a motion to follow the recommendation and accept Jake's report with thanks. It's very thorough. Appreciate that.
Seconder, please. Carl. Any other questions? All in favor? That motion is approved. Jake, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll let you get on the road again.
Thank you.
Committee minutes, other reports. We have the Planning Committee minutes from the 26th of March to receive and approve. Tom, you'll make the motion. And Carl, you'll be the seconder. Are you trying to say something, Carl? You're muted. No?
Yes, just for your information, I think all of you would have received an invite to a meeting on the 20th to have a better understanding of planning issues, new planning issues that are coming down the pipe from the province and other agencies. I would strongly encourage you to attend if you possibly can. Just as the chair of the Committee of Planning, in the last 4 or 5 months, almost every application requires a consultant's report. And some of these are very detailed, and I'm sure it's costing the applicants major bucks. So I would encourage you to get involved if you possibly can on the 20th.
Sorry, today is the 20th.
Pardon me, at the 28th. Sorry.
Oh, okay, thank you.
28th, Martina.
Is that right, Martina? Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that is correct. I believe a save the date has gone out and there will be Zoom links and an agenda shortly.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, motion's on the floor. All in favor? That motion is approved. We have correspondent action items. Number 12.1 is a letter from the Warsaw District Lions Club regarding the boat launch at the former United Church.
You skipped by Mr. Mayor.
We
Sorry?
missed one.
What did I miss? The bylaws?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, sorry. 11.1 is bylaws, and that is our tax bylaw. And I just saw staff cringe when they thought I was going to miss it. Just kidding. Okay, Martina, I will ask you to give us a brief preview of what this bylaw is, and then I'll ask for a motion.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, this is the bylaw to pass our tax rates for 2021. Temporary Treasurer Paul Kramer is on the call today, and I think he'd probably be the best to give you any details that you need.
Great system this year. It was a wonderful way to do our budget, and I think we've learned a lot. And Paul, you are certainly one of the people responsible for this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again on behalf of all of us. Way to go. Did you want any comment before we pass your bylaw?
I don't think there's much to comment on. I feel like I'm happy with the process as well. I think, next year I hope to maybe do things a little bit earlier, start the process a little bit earlier, but just given the time constraint of when I started and when I was actually able to get the budget underway. But I'm happy with the process. Thank all staff for their involvement. And this bylaw is to finalize and accept the budget as is.
Okay, well, thank you, Paul. You put a lot of work into this. Does this feel like giving birth to you at all? Not quite.
I can't say
You can't say
that feels like.
No, I'm sure you can't. Okay,
it does feel like my baby, but not.
Yes,
I didn't have to. Yeah,
that's what my implication was.
Yeah.
Okay, there is the bylaw for the budget for 2021. Could I have a motion, please, to approve the bylaw? Councillor Landsman is the mover of the motion.
Yes, I would make the motion to receive it, and if somebody seconds it, I do have a question.
To receive it and approve it?
And approve it, yes.
Right, okay. And a seconder, please. Councillor Watson, go ahead, Sheila.
Yes, through you to Paul. Item 3, 50% of the final residential, et cetera, rounded up to the next whole dollar shall become due and payable. This is the first year we've done this, and I just wondered if there was a reason for that.
I don't believe I didn't intentionally change the bylaw, so it should be consistent with previous years.
Oh, I don't have a copy, or I haven't read the last year's bylaw, but I do know my taxes were to the penny last year, and it just surprised me by seeing it there.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody
what
else
what I could double check is, that could be something that's in our bylaw. Whether or not that has been carried through to practice, I would have to double check on that. Now, Martina is putting up her hand, so she may be able to
Martina,
answer
you
that.
got some clarity on that? I don't think we're going to hold up the bylaw over this, but
No,
go ahead.
Just ask.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, it is our standard wording that we use, but we have that in reserve in case there's any issues, but we don't put it in practice.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. I just
Okay.
was curious.
Okay, the motion is on the floor to approve the bylaw. All in favor? That motion is approved. And Paul, again, thank you very much. Okay, now we're into action correspondence. The letter from the Warsaw District Lions Club about the boat launch, requests for signage, etc. May I suggest a motion to pass it on to staff and have them incorporated in their upcoming review of the whole situation? Alana, is that fair with you?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that is fair. We will follow up with the other parties involved, Orca and the county, with
Good.
regards to signage. So we'll go ahead and do
Excellent.
that anyway.
Okay, Carl,
I would move that recommendation.
seconder. Tom? All in favor? That motion is approved. We have City of Kitchener, a resolution about the extension of the Planning Act timelines for municipalities. Carl?
I wonder if staff have any comment on that. Would you like us to support it or just receive it?
Martina?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Deputy Mayor Moher. I would prefer if council would support it. The timelines, as you may know, are quite short.
Yep.
Given the amount of studies that we now have and have to be peer reviewed, it can be quite a rush to get those reviews completed and then get you fulsome reports and documents in time.
Good background. Go ahead, Carl.
Move to receive and support then.
Receive and support. Seconder to that, please. Tom? All in favor? That motion is approved. We have the Township of South Glengarry. They have a resolution about supporting the provincial vaccine rollout, a topic of considerable consternation these days with everything that's going on. What is your feeling on that resolution? Carl?
With so much pressure on the provincial government, I would move just to receive it. They're well aware of the,
Are they ever?
there's enough others out there raising concerns without us getting in the middle of it. I would move to receive it.
Receive,
second that.
seconder from Sheila. All in favor? That motion is approved. Town of Caledon, they have a resolution supporting for 988, a 3-digit suicide and crisis prevention hotline. Sheila?
Did we not receive and support this at a past meeting?
I don't
On-
recall that specific one, but that's quite
Oh, I thought we had.
possible.
I would, if we haven't, I would move to receive and support it.
Move to receive and support. A seconder, please. Last call for a seconder. Tom? All in favor?
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, sorry, Carl, go ahead.
I can't support it. 911 is placed there. 911 people have all kinds of facilities to refer people to emergency crisis lines and so on. And I think it just fragments the whole reporting process of people in trouble. So I can't support it.
Okay, motion is on the floor. All in favor? That motion is approved. 12.5, correspondent from a residence about the boat launch at the former United Church property. What is your flavor? Again, this can be forwarded to staff for their report. Tom?
Yep, I was going to make a motion to receive it and forward it to staff to add to their report for a future meeting.
Seconder? Carl? All in favor? That motion is approved. Item 13, information items 13.1 to 13.8 is information items and various correspondence we've received. One motion to receive them all, please, by Heather. Thank you. A seconder?
Actually, nope, sorry, Mr. Mayor, that wasn't, my hand up wasn't for that.
Your hand
I
was
just
up.
see there's another
Oh,
correspondence
sorry, I
item.
missed
That's
12.6.
quite important, actually, Your Worship.
As chair of the EORNG network, I understand how important it is. Thank you for that, Heather. Good. Requesting support for the EORNG Project. This has been sent to every municipality in Eastern Ontario. Heather, seconder.
I will move to receive and support it, yeah.
Seconder. Carl, all in favor? That motion is approved. 13.1 to 13.8, a motion, please. Carl?
Move to receive, and I've got a comment to make on 3 of the items.
Okay, Sheila is the seconder. Anyone can comment on whatever one they like. Carl, go ahead.
Okay, 13.3, 13.4, 13.5. I believe it's our time to look at an RFP to look at the activity there of what's required. I noticed like 2 of the reports are over 200 pages in length. The one report for Halls Glen is only 27. And I'm just wondering if we could maybe look at the province requirements. This is very expensive process, and see if we can't get away with doing less oversight. I know we're going to be doing it forever, but the numbers are getting better gradually every year. And I'd like to be able to see if we can trim the costs somehow. First of all, getting the okay from the ministry, and then retender, assuming that the time limit is up.
Yes, that's something that, we were always led to believe that these costs would continue to go down as time went by, but things don't seem to work the way that you want. So are you willing to make a motion to send it to staff for investigation?
Sure. Elena's got her hand up.
Alana, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Deputy Mayor Moher, just before you move forward with the motion, we actually have already prepared and put out an RFQ for the monitoring of groundwater. I can speak with Jake. I think he's left us, so I can speak with him and ask him just to take a look at the requirements as the tenders do come in and determine what the requirement is from the provincial standpoint. I don't know if Martina, if you have anything else to add to that.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I know in the past and continuing forward, these reports are reviewed by the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks, and they do have to be approved and registered with the ministry. So we can speak to our contacts there to see if there's something we can do to reduce the burden, but they do have to meet the regulations. So we may be a little hamstrung as well.
So the intent of your comment, Carl, appears to be being looked after?
Well, I guess I wouldn't hesitate to maybe invite the regulatory person to our meeting so that we can maybe challenge some of the information that's required, because a bureaucrat sitting at Water Street there in Charlotte really doesn't care perhaps about the cost of doing what's required. And I just think they're expensive, and out there's 203 pages, and I know it's a lot of cut and paste, but we're paying big bucks for this. And if we can reduce it even by $20,000 a year, it's maybe another road or two that we could improve, or other areas we could use it for improvement.
Okay, would you like simply a motion of direction to have staff look into that?
Sure. Well, I guess we'll vote on the receiving of the items first, and then I'd be happy to.
Okay. Is there any others anyone wanted to call out? There is a motion on the floor, 13.1 to 13.8. All in favor? That motion is approved. Carl, go ahead.
I would move to have staff expand the request for quotes on this to actively talk to the ministry about what can be done to reduce effective reduction of the requirements there in light of the improvements over the years at the 3 sites.
Okay. To the point, and a seconder, please. Tom, discussion on the motion. All in favor? That motion is approved.
Mr.
Staff.
Chair, I have to leave the meeting now.
Okay, that's fine. For the record, at exactly 5:38, Mr. Moher is no longer part of the meeting. We move to accounts up to April 8th. Sheila.
I move to receive and pay.
Moved, second by Heather. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion is approved. Notices of motion from anyone? Seeing no hands. Any community announcements? We have no closed session items. I would like a motion for the confirming bylaw 2021-30. Tom and Heather, all in favor. That motion is approved. And a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. Heather, and no, Alana, you can't make a motion, sorry. And Sheila is the seconder to that. And all in favor?
Oh, yeah.
And that motion is approved. That concludes our meeting. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on YouTube. We'll be back with our next scheduled council meeting. Thank you all. And please, everyone, stay safe. We're doing our best to abide by the provincial COVID rules. We need to do what we can do so we can get out of this and get back to normal. So please obey the rules, stay home, and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.